Good morning, everyone. My name is Khang, and usually I teach English. But for some reason I don't know, today I will be your storyteller. One of the best storyteller according to absolutely no credible sense. All right, so let's see what we have in our deck today. Okay, so the story today will be a bedtime story. Guys, I know it's well into the morning, and a bedtime story might not be the best timing, but let's just get this with. Okay, so what story do we have here? The wolf, no, it's the Khang story. The fox and the grapes. Oh yes, the tortoise and the hare. You know, that sweet little bedtime story about a tortoise and a hare. Oh, my mom loved this story. She always told this story when I was younger and before my bedtime. She always told me that slow and steady wins the race. Such great times. But there was this little problem. The story was a big fat lie. Yes, I said that the story is a lie. And how do you think a tortoise is going to win a hare in a winning race? That is literally impossible, at least in our world. But instead, do you know what will happen if this story happens in our world? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the hares and the tortoise. Once upon a time, the lion announced a great race in the forest for all animals to compete in. Quickly, 1,000 hares signed up for the competition. Very interesting. But there was this little problem. 1,000 hare in a contest for the entire forest seemed suspiciously like just a hare race. So the lion did what it had to do. It put an extra tortoise into the contestants. You know, diversity. And then, as the fox cried, "Go!" all the hares didn't just run. Oh, they didn't just run. They exploded. They jumped, they nudged each other, and all of them quickly vanished into the distance. And our tortoise, he just looked at his feet, looked at the race, and took one step. How embarrassing. How can this even be possible? All the audiences began to boo. They yelled, and quickly enough, they began to leave for the hares. Do you think the tortoise heard that? Of course he did. They were literally shouting at its ear. But anyways, the tortoise just took another step. And just within 1 minute, all the hares reached the finish line. The first hare, the winner, Mr. Usain Bolt, received a carrot as big as his head. The runner-up, literally, received a carrot slightly smaller than the biggest one. And for the last hare, he just received some orange dust as compensation for his effort. All the audience cheered, the lion yawned, and all of them headed home. After all, the Great Race Season 2 is tomorrow. They need to go home early so that they can secure a great seat tomorrow. Okay, so it looks like the hare lost. The tortoise lost. Of course it has to lose. The tortoise cannot win a winning race because it wasn't built to win one, and especially one that includes hares. Those hares are built to win the race. And what did we expect? Did we just expect all the hares to fall asleep? They wouldn't. They would fall asleep during a race with a tortoise because it's too slow, but now they are in a race against each other. If they stopped to sleep, they would instantly be run over by literally 1,000 hares. So they will never fall asleep. Okay, so what does this have to do with us? I'm sure you all know this feeling. Maybe you tried a job, a sport, a relationship, or a version of you that seemed impressive. And maybe you didn't like it, but you just kept staying anyways, because everyone just kept saying, just be consistent, just believe in yourself. And to be honest, it does work sometimes. But in most other cases, it just doesn't work that way. And sometimes you just failed spectacularly. And when that does happen, congratulations. Your effort has been exposed what it really is. Blind loyalty to the wrong race. As an educator, I know this is quite ironic for me to say it. After all, we all love races. I mean, I myself love tests, we love rubrics, and we certainly love rankings. And sometimes we teach the entire forest, so we don't teach just hares or tortoises, but we also teach the squirrels, the giraffes, the lions. We teach everything in the forest. But sometimes the system doesn't work. I myself has become a lion sometimes. I just put everyone in the same race, measure them with the same stopwatch, and call that equality, call that fairness. And that is my mistake, because the system never worked that way. But the worst part is that we cannot just leave. We cannot leave a race just because it's stupid, because sometimes we are bound to stay in that race. Okay, so what do you have to do when you're put in a race that isn't for you? Do not panic just yet. Just remember this. You should learn what you can learn. You should do your best. And most important of all, protect your dignity. And after the race, you can finally ask the question, are you failing, or is the race failing you? As for our tortoise, I don't think if he's going to participate in the Great Race Season 2. Thank you for listening. Wait, I think there's something missing right here. Where is the tortoise? All right, the lion is planning for the Great Race Season 2. All the audiences have just finished their dinner gossip, and the hares, they are lying in their cave, resting for tomorrow's race. It has been a very hard day for them. But what about the tortoise? Where is it? All right, this is serious. I know the race is important to King Lion, but he cannot put his race above his participants' well-being. That is just so reckless. Where is the tortoise? Oh, never mind. There he is. The tortoise is now heading back towards the starting line. Why the starting line? Why didn't he head towards the finish line? Because at some point in the race, he realized that the finish line was never for him. It's not a destination, but rather as an unreachable dream. So he had to do what he can do. He abandoned the race and put it behind himself. Of course, he gets no carrots for this, but to be honest, is he sad? I think he isn't sad. After all, he is allergic to carrots. Thank you for listening.